Hi guys, it's Granny Tana speaking. Welcome to this FS22 Let's Map video. And here we are on my upcoming German map Wunzig. You ask about how is my map Wunzig doing? And then I thought, okay, I could just show it to you instead of making a marigold farm video today. I just make a Let's Map Wunzig video today, and yeah, and then you've got an impression how far I am at the moment. And the next Let's Map video will be again marigold farm, but from time to time I can show you what's going on the Wunzig map. Yeah, Wunzig means tiny. Only to tell you what this name means. Maybe it sounds a little bit strange to you. It even sounds strange to German ears because it is medieval old word of the German language. Nobody says Wunzig in our times, and therefore I thought it's a cool name for a very tiny village. The map is not so tiny, it's not big either, but yeah, especially the village should be tiny. Yeah, so here we have the church. Maybe you know this already. And what I was doing in the last weeks, nearly month, about this map, I have to speed it up a little bit that I'm faster. Okay. Yeah, as many people said, I don't like to see those Erngrat houses anymore. I started to build my own houses, and I have built a lot of houses that are very typical for, let's say, Central Europe. Those type of houses don't only exist in Germany, but also in the maybe northern, eastern part of France, and yeah, in a lot of places, because they are so plain in their basic construction. And I made some annexes and porches and such, and you can look inside. Let's see whether we find something typical to look inside. So we have some fake rooms there, but only to look inside. So they are very, very simple. But when you come from outside and look inside, here it's not so easy. But in game you can look inside a little bit, and a little bit shady somehow. But you see, okay, they have furniture there. That what was I wanted to accomplish. And so I finished those houses, which took me weeks or even months, and then I just placed them here, so scattered around, and then I started decorating it. And here in this area I made typical village road that could be found in my village where I live. But I don't live in Germany, I live in the northeastern part of France, the Alsace. But the houses look very similar. Then on the opposite side of the Rhine, where is Germany. So I live just 4 kilometers away from the German-French border. And yeah, so those kinds of, so you have houses, but they are not like in the suburbia, set behind, where you have a fence and then a garden, and then is the house like it will be here. This will be like in the suburbia. But those are typical older German village buildings somehow, in the way that they stand. So here we will have a road. It will be a real road, and here we have the how it's called, sidewalk, so the area where people walk. And maybe you heard about, if you are American, so maybe you heard about that in Europe people tend to walk in their villages and in towns, and so we walk much more than in America, and not only to do sports, but to go to the supermarket or to visit the neighbor, and so we just walk or we take the bicycle. But we have cars as well. And when you come from somewhere else in Europe, then you know that it is normal to walk, and so therefore we always have those areas beside the road where people can walk. And the houses stand close to the road, directly somehow, and very often they have walls like that you can, if you are big, you can just have a glimpse over the wall. So this is meant to be, the chickens can't flee from those walls, because the walls are too high for chicken and for little kids as well. But you can talk with the neighbor, so you can look, if the owner of this house stands here, then and you go here, you can say hello, and if the owner of the house wants to talk to you, you can have a chat, because you can look into each other's eyes above this wall. And that's the typical way older houses, so let's say from the beginning of the 20th century up to the mid-century, and then later the walls became higher in certain areas, or the way to build became more like in suburbia. And this here is more from 1900 till 1960 maybe. Yeah. And here we have small mini farms. They are located in the center of the village, and that is very typical for our villages. Most of the villages started as farmers' village, and they lived close together, and because they only had very tiny tractors, they only needed very tiny barns. And those could be a typical tiny farm from someone who didn't had bigger animals. So if you had cows and pigs, and so you need more space for the farm, even in the last century. But very often there were something like small farmers, and so they had maybe 1 or 2 fields and 1 tractor, and for everything else they rented the machines. And then here is enough place for a tractor and maybe a fertilizer spreader and so. And so this symbolizes a tiny farm. And I think I will make it possible that you can buy this lot, this small lot, if you want to have a tiny farm. And you could work as as a contractor or something like that. And here we have another of those tiny farms. And sometimes those kind of building combinations were not used for real farms, but because people only knew farms in the villages, they built tiny barns like that, just for whatsoever, for the car, and maybe usually it was more closed then, and then they had storage areas here also. Even we have a tiny house similar to, let's see, similar to this one, but without all those annexes, with a dormer like this. This is rather similar to our house, the size and the overall shape. And we have a building like that beside our house, but this is closed. So we have a room there which we use as a workshop, and we have a garage. And in this part you can go from the entrance area to the garden. So this is open somehow, and we have stair that leads to the I knew the word. It's underneath the soil. It's I forgot the word. So that is in the ground. If you have if your house is in the ground and you have some rooms there to store your stuff, and there we have a stair that is going down there. And so our building that is additional to our house is very similar to this. And our house has never been a farmer's house. So they used to build farmer-like-ish houses in the mid-century. And we have quite a lot of them in our village, and in the German village on the other side of the Rhine, we have those kinds of tiny mini farms that may never have been farms, or that have been tiny farms. And yeah, therefore I made those two mini farms. And I hope I have enough farmlands left over that I can make them buyable and usable. So yeah, this is enough for a tractor and at least one machine, and this is more. So here you have place for quite some rather small machines and a car in this garage. And I tested it, so you could go through this door, through this gate, with your tractor, a small tractor, and put your stuff inside, and then you work as a contractor. So that is the idea behind those small mini farms. And when you look on German maps from villages that have already been there more than 100 years, you can see in the center of the village there are a lot of tiny, it's all over the place, all those tiny mini farms. And only in the outskirts you have this suburbia type of building, because then in the 50s, or rather more in the 60s, people started building houses in the countryside, because the cities were already overcrowded, and then people earned money after the war, and then they thought, oh, I would love to have a house with a garden for our family. And then the villages grew a lot with all those people who were no farmers and who populated the area that has been fields before. So all those tiny farmers, they had fields, and then later people lived there. And that is how our villages grew. And therefore in the center of the villages we have those bunch of farms, and usually out of 10 farms there is only maximum 1 farm that is still used as a farm. Usually the farmers didn't keep on working as a farm, because with the tractor and combines and so you don't need as many people, and therefore from 10 farmers is only 1 left roundabout that is still working as a farmer. So now I have talked a lot, and here this is just a house to live, but a rather old-fashioned, and they have a vegetable garden, and yeah, and in this way how I decorated this, I want, here they have something like a yard, but it is not like a mini farm. And here we have a house that has just a garage and a very tiny garden behind. Here just this stripe. So maybe if they want to do some gardening, they would need to have an outside garden. And maybe I make something like that, gardens that are outside the center of the village. And we have this a lot in Europe. And yeah, then you could buy it as a production and grow some stuff. So in this house I want to decorate with you, and I already talked for 17 minutes, nearly 18. I'm really talkative when I record videos. But I thought maybe you would be interested in how German or Central Europe villages are constructed, or are how they developed. Because in the beginning I was not so sure. I started all this with more like the suburbia part of buildings, and then I thought, no, that's not how it works. It is different. And then I looked through our village and other villages and said, yeah, this is how it looks. There are a lot of little farms, and the houses, they are directly at the street in the center of the village. So what do we do here? I think we would make some flowers, and maybe I could open one of those garage doors, like so, and then I would place a parked car inside, but this I will do much later when I work on the traffic, the AI traffic. And yeah, this garage could be used, but not on this place, because I won't make this house usable somehow. This is only decorative. but maybe I put those garages at farms as well, because we have several farms here, and then this can be used. Then you can open the doors and put your car inside and put some appliances and stuff inside. So maybe I just start with some objects. This is the house street. Okay, yeah, that is good. And then I take a transform group, an empty one, yeah, and call it decoration. Come on, here. It is sleeping. Yes, no, decoration. Very well. And then house modules, and here I have a lot of decorative objects that I can use. And I need a stair. I think here, what kind of stair would be good? Maybe the conus stair. And you will see why I call it so strange. So I bring it up here, and then one step up, and here it is. It is getting wider. Because I think this door somehow needs a little bit protection from the road or from the sidewalk. And this stair is doing this better than the very simple stair. So, a little bit wider. Yes. Okay, like so. And I call it conus because here it's narrower and here it's wider. And now I have to change the color. So first I activate this, and then where is it? Then this, and then I use my little script, and now we have to wait, and then the stair will become green. I hope so. Yes, it did very well. This is such a useful tiny little script. So I need this at least one more time in the back. Yes. So I make a copy and bring it to the back. And I have to wait. So turn like that. Upsala. So okay. Now they can leave the house into their small garden area. but they have a nicely big house. So this is the biggest type of house. There are only 3 different types of house from the shape. And then I have 3 different types of dormers, and they can be combined in every variation. And then I have those garages and annexes, and yeah, to make all the houses look different in the end. And this is the biggest type. So the stair is there, and I think now I look for some flowers for the windows. Decoration. Here, decoration. Okay, maybe I just get a collection. This seasonal decorations, and a bench would be nice to have it here. Then the grandfather can sit here and greet all the people who run around, who go here. And maybe I try the garden tent. Yeah, I try it whether it fits. And maybe a small bench for the back, and then the colored flower boxes, and a red bike, and a campfire in the garden. So this is more a grill and a garbage cart, and door wreath. I take the summer too, and maybe the awning. Okay, so I make a copy of all those. Good. And now I bring it up. Where is it? Here. And you can't see it now, because it is still underneath the ground. Now I have to bring all those up that you can see it. Yeah, and those self-made houses are one of the reason, or the main reason, why this Map Wunzig takes so long. And yeah, starting with the Marigold Farm, my American map, helped me a lot to get the feeling back that I can accomplish map building rather fast, and so I felt so stuck. I love those houses a lot. And the problem is they are not the only houses that I have to build for this map, because those houses, they will disappear, all of those. And I'm not sure yet whether I put those types of houses here. Maybe I do this in the same way like this, but maybe without this tiny farms, but those will go away. And those, this is the shopping area, because this is a tourist location, not only a rural village, but a tourist location as well, because of this nice lake and so. And those will go away, and I'm already building houses in the same style that those houses, but higher and with a shop in the first floor. And yeah, so this is something I want to build. Then I want to convert the horse ranch from the riding hall, especially from Ravenport, from FS19, and the horse ranch farm building from Felsbrunn from FS19, and make a horse ranch here instead of all those buildings. They will disappear too. And here I want to make a tiny fishing village. And yeah, there is a lot of building, and then I don't have the farm buildings yet. Then I have to start with the farm buildings. So I have to build houses like crazy, and therefore it takes so long, and I want to have it faster, but I don't know how. Somehow. Where is the flower box? Okay, here. Yeah, but I needed some fast success to be able to build happily and don't feel so stuck with this time-consuming house building. And therefore I thought, okay, I want to build an American map, and I just start it now, because then I get the feeling, okay, it's going on. And on the other hand, it's silly to build start with a second map when the first map is already taking too long. But it helped me. So I got the feeling back, okay, I can accomplish my map building fast enough to feel good. And therefore the marigold farm helps me a lot to build the Wunzig. It's a little bit confused, but it works for me. Yeah, and so now in the daytime, I build on the buildings in Blender and so, or I make updates for mods and so stuff that is needed. And in the evening, I record my normal videos, my Let's Plays, and then in the night, I build on either of one of my two maps. So either the marigold farm and I make an English speaking video, or as I have those buildings here now, I can work again on the Wunzig, and then I do things like that. And yeah, usually I make a German video then, and today I make an English video for the Wunzig. And maybe here you can see inside there is a kitchen, and the windows are not totally clear, so you don't see sharp all the furniture. It's more like shady, and therefore it's okay that they are so basic. So you couldn't use this furniture for a walk-in house, but for a peek-inside house I think they are okay. And yeah, all those houses are somehow peek-inside houses with fake rooms. And in Germany we usually have two types of curtains, not in the kitchen. This is rather open. So here we have a tiny curtain that keeps you from peeking inside on the height of your head. This is about the height of the head, but you can peek underneath, and when you drive by with your tractor you can peek too. So this is typical for kitchens. And for other rooms we have a very fine curtain, and it has a different name than curtains. So we have two different names for our curtains. The thin one, they are semi-transparent, and like here, and if there is a light on, you can look through this thinner curtain rather okay, but usually when it's dark inside, then you can look outside without any problems, because outside is more light, but you can't really look inside. You can only get a glimpse like this if you're very close by. And if it's this only works because it's not dark inside. If it would be really dark inside, you couldn't see anything at all, even if the curtain is semi-transparent. And then in the evening you close the real curtains, and through those real curtains you can't watch. And so usually you can't look into German houses, at least not really good. So the fake rooms we have from Giants, from our base game maps, they are not realistic. At least not for Germany. And I know in the Netherlands they don't have this type of curtain, this thin semi-transparent curtains. They just, I think they have only one maximum, and in the daytime it's just open. So yeah, you can look inside the house. It's better than into German houses. That's what I heard about. Oh, this is maybe too close to the roof. Or yeah, I can push it up a little bit. Would be nice to have flowers there. And here in the top floor, I don't have fake rooms with furniture, and I made it always closed, but in the evening you get light from behind, and then you can't see anything. Only you can see that there is light, and that is realistic because in the evening people don't like if other people peek inside their bedrooms, and so I think I have to turn this a little bit more. Okay, now this here. Oh, I should, and I turned this without the box as well, so I have to change this again, take the whole box, yes, and this one, okay, and I make a locked group out of it, and then they are better linked together. So now here, how is it with curtains where you live? Because I'm very interested how people live in different areas of the world, and yeah, those small things, usually you don't think about how is it with curtains in a different country. Only when you start building, you think about, okay, how can I make it realistic with the curtains, with the windows, and so forth. How are the villages constructed? Because I watched a lot of videos that compared European cities with American cities and the suburbs, and this is really, really different. And already when you watch on Google Earth, you can see the difference. But for me, just seeing it doesn't give me the whole understanding. But when I watch those videos and they tell about how the suburbia and the zoning is, and yeah, that you in this suburbs you don't have shops and kindergartens and schools and so, because the zoning is so strict, that is, for me it's nearly unbelievable, but I know it's true. Don't worry. And because here it is totally normal that we have zones as well, so you can't build a factory that stinks a lot in an area where are residential buildings. But we have shops there and we have kindergartens, so we have infrastructure to live in areas where people live. So yeah, commercial, I would say commercial areas can be, but not to have a mall that would be outside the residential area, but to have a small shop would be welcome inside. And therefore the living and how villages and towns are built is very different. So, and I just see here, maybe I have to modify this house and import it to make this areas colorable. So I already have 3 or 4 versions of the houses, because I always discover errors. And I thought, when I make just 3 buildings as a modular project, 3 main type of buildings and then some dormers and so, that would be fast and easy. And it took me months. And yeah, that's a little bit sad, because it slows me down so much with modding. And I want to be fast with my modding, that I can have maps more and faster, and mods more and faster, and so forth. So now we put a seasonal decoration here, but no, this don't come here. This is a small one and it comes here. And as you can see, it's invisible. No, now it's not invisible, but as soon as I haven't activated it, like so, it's invisible again, because all the objects that are inside they are only for one season. So in springtime you get flowers and eggs, and in summer you get more summer-like flowers, and in here you can see there is a pumpkin for the autumn. Those are the flowers for the summer. And here is a tree for the summer, and here we have the snowman for the winter. And yeah, when I have all those bunched together, in the end you don't see anything, only in-game. There you see the decorative stuff according to the season. But here inside the Giants editor you won't see anything, which is a little bit sad. So maybe I put the last one here. But I like those seasonal decorations so much. Because then the decoration doesn't stay always the same, but changes from time to time. Okay, now the public bench is here, the tent. Maybe I put the bicycle. Maybe here. Like so. Okay. And then I try to put the tent in the back area to see whether it fits. Yes, I think this is okay. Oh, and we already have table and so there. Then we just leave this. Yes, yes. And I put some different floor, but first I wanna change the color of the tent. And so I have to search for this here. Yes, exactly this. Yes. And then where is it? Here it is, this one. And now I make my magic trick, and then it will be green, I hope. This is, I copy the material of one object to the other. And I'm very proud on this because I made this script myself. And it is a very simple script, but I found it rather difficult. Not very difficult, but a little bit difficult. And I'm not good at Lua because I have barely any experience. So if I would use it more, I would become better. It's not so difficult, but yeah, the experience is missing. And therefore I'm really proud on even this tiny but rather useful little script. So now I save. This is important. Sometimes I forget to save, and then yeah, we have a problem. So now what kind of floor do I want to have? I have this very nice cobblestone in this map, but I already used this cobblestones at quite some places. Maybe I try how the plates are working with the angles and so. We have this concrete tiles alpine. Yes, exactly. That's what I want. I make 1 meter and I try square. Oh, yeah, here we have the problem. The angle is really not good for this. But other than that, it would be good. Maybe we can live with those angles of the plates. So I can go down there. So, and here. And oops. From the stair to this area there should be plates as well. And now I go for round and smaller and try to improve it. Try. This is not so good. But here I can make more grass and maybe plant some plants, build some plants, and then you can't see it so good. So the grass alpine, yes. When you have a 90-degree angle, then it's easy to make a straight line with your painting, but when it's in a different angle, yeah, then it looks like this. Maybe to mix some soil inside would be nice, maybe rough dirt, and I only make it on grass alpine 1. So here. So come on. Yeah. And then maybe 3, so that we keep some of the grass texture here. But it's not really willing to work how I would like it. So maybe I don't make this limitation. Yes, and now what to plant here? Maybe those sunflowers. But the question is, how many people will ever see this garden? It should be there, sure, but those sunflowers and this garden stuff, this has quite a lot of polygons, so it's expensive for the performance. Not very much, but a little bit. And therefore it's maybe not such a good idea to put expensive performance objects, too many of them, at an area where usually nobody is watching. So I try with deco foliage, maybe the daisy yellow. That is always friendly, not too close to the grill, but on both sides of the fence, and maybe even here. And there. Yeah, what would you have in such a place where it's too small for a real garden, too shady for a vegetable garden? Maybe just some grass. Oh, and maybe I could bring up some kids stuff, playground stuff. I don't have any playground stuff in my decoration thingy, and there is a small bench. So first I put the small bench, maybe here, but then this should be no grass as well. Or I put it here. Oh, then the flowers are too much. So maybe a little bit more tiles. The concrete tiles alpine. Like so. Come on. Here. Doesn't want. But maybe I could let some grass grow underneath this bench. Maybe that would look nice. A little bit lift in. And the bike is already used. The garbage cart goes to the front because we don't have an open passage from the garden to the front. Campfire. The door wreath comes here. So on this door. Upsala. So, and the awning comes to the front. Okay, then maybe I just make some grass there. And I use the decorative grass because that doesn't grow so high. It's high enough, I'd say. Or do I use, rather the small one? Maybe the small one is even better. So then we can imagine that the owner of the house has his lawnmower and takes care for his little tiny lawn. Okay. Are those flowers enough? Yeah, I think those are enough. And then I make this very tiny and put some grass here and there. Come on. Oops. Here. Oh, this is too much. Maybe like so, yeah. Okay, yeah, this looks a little bit natural. Good. And now I search for the playground things, and I think I have several. And that would be nice to have maybe a slide or a swing or a thing like that. Where could they be? So I know one place at the upcoming farm. Oh, I'm looking forward to build this farm. What my plan is that rather soon I want to build a temporary farm here. Not with final buildings, but maybe one of those buildings and then some sheds that you can use. And yeah, as soon as I have enough selling stations and productions there, and then I make a first version, a first alpha version, where you can play on this map. So to download the map from my homepage for people that are interested. So, come on, come on. Here, I want you. Maybe this slide, yes. Now I copy this. Yeah, but it will take quite a while until the farm building is really done. Or the farm pack. And here behind the farm there will be a rather big farmer's garden. So this is just to indicate there will be a garden. And I make those rather flat places for growing vegetable and stuff. And no raised beds, but more to the ground, like you can see here. And then here will be a composting box, and the garden will produce vegetables and fruits and stuff like this, like my outdoor garden mod, and maybe some other stuff as well, like cabbage and so. And it will produce how to call it in English, so plant waste somehow, what you have in a garden, what is normal, and it will spawn in boxes, and then you can throw this into the composting production, and then you get compost, and you can fertilize your garden with this. And if you want to have more compost than you can get from your plant waste, then you can put grass and hay and straw inside your compost as well. And so there will be somehow a complete composting system on this map. And I think I will have additional gardens as well somewhere. So now let's see how we do this best. Maybe the swing is rather here, and then turn it that you can swing freely from there to there. And the slide, come on, the slide is more here. Turn it around. Like so. And then I remove the grass. It is small, yeah, maybe it's too small to work. And where is the no mesh painting but foliage? Okay, grass small and subtract, yeah, that should work. No, here, okay, like so. Ah, this is a little bit too big, so I make it smaller. 0.3 maybe. It's a pity that we don't have kids, pedestrian kids. But maybe this would be too much to ask for. Okay, this is quite a lot. And now I paint it with sand. Where is the sand? We had sand, or don't we? There, sand wet, yes, very well. Come on, here, yes. And there. And I will see whether it is possible to get dry sand as well. I have to convert it from FS19 because there we had dry sand in Ravenport, and I don't know yet whether I will be able to do it because it's in FS22 those textures look very different, but I will try. Also for the marigold farm, because yeah, there we need sand on the riverbank and on the island. It doesn't want. Now, okay, a little bit. Maybe here. Come on. Yeah, there. Yes. Yes, it's okay. So, yeah, I think now it's a okayish family garden. The kids can play and you can sit here and grill some stuff for you. And then the kids can jump over the fence to play with the neighbors. Here we will have fences for all those houses and they all get gardens. And the good thing is those houses, they are ready-made houses and they already have those decorative stuff. So I think this will be less work. I only have to put some trees in the garden and maybe some swings and so forth. But it won't take as long as this house that is, I made it, I took the basic house and added the dormers and it wasn't one of those ready-made complete houses. Okay. Yes, I think that's it for this video. The next Let's Map video will be Marigold Farm again. And from time to time I will make a Let's Map video from Wunzig, that you are informed how the work is going. Okay, I wish you a very good day. Thank you for watching and all the best. Till next time. Tschüss.